What happens when a man on the brink, facing jail time, decides to call into his own sentencing hearing from his car? You're about to witness one of the most intense and raw courtroom pleas we've ever seen. This is Lawrence Buckner, a man who claims he's being systematically harassed by the police. But when the judge catches him with his hazard lights on, his credibility is immediately on the line. Will his powerful, emotional defense save him, or will a system he no longer trusts swallow him whole? Stick around, because this one is a wild ride from start to finish.
And shouldn't ask the court not to accept the recommendation.
Thank you. Ms. Woods?
One moment, Judge. I'm pulling up my notes right now. My computer is just a little slow.
Mr. Buckner, are you driving, sir?
No, ma'am. I'm not driving.
Judge, I've also had an opportunity to review the PSIR recommendation, and I'd ask the court to follow the recommendation within that report. Thank you.
Mr. Buckner, why do I hear your blinker on, sir?
That's my hazard lights.
Your what?
That's my hazard lights. Those are my hazard lights.
Okay, let's pause right here. That's my hazard lights. This is a jaw-dropping moment. The judge clearly suspects he's driving, which is a massive sign of disrespect to court, not to mention incredibly unsafe. His defense is that he's pulled over with his hazards on, but the damage is done. The judge's tone immediately shifts, and now Mr. Buckner is starting from a position of zero credibility. He's trying to argue for leniency, but his actions are screaming that he doesn't take this seriously. Is this just a simple misunderstanding or a deliberate attempt to mislead the court? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Mr. Lebo, what would you like to say on behalf of your client, please?
First, I want to note that when I discussed this with Mr. Buckner yesterday, he told me that he understands that when he got upset, when he felt provoked by the officer, he should have kept his mouth shut, and he shouldn't have made any kind of threatening statement, even if he felt disrespected. He did ask me to let the court know that he was at a gas station getting his tire fixed during the interview. He tells me that he was not driving. He also wants me to let the court know that he'll comply with any probationary sentence issued by the court. He did state to the probation he doesn't feel he would benefit from probation, but he did tell me when we spoke that he will comply fully with any probation conditions imposed by the court. So we would ask the court to consider imposing a fines and cost sentence or a period of probation rather than filing the recommendation for 30 days in jail.
So the defense attorney is doing damage control, trying to explain the car situation while also asking for no jail time. He's painting his client as someone who understands he made a mistake by threatening an officer but feels probation won't help. This is a tricky strategy. On one hand, it's honest. On the other, telling a judge that their probationary sentence wouldn't be beneficial can backfire spectacularly. He's walking a fine line, trying to get the judge to see his client as a man who will comply with the rules, even if he disagrees with them. The core request is simple: fines, not jail.
Did he do a class? I was a little confused because it said in there he did the class. Did you do a class, Mr. Buckner?
No, I've been just going to my regular therapist. But what Mr. Lebo is saying, and what he's talking about is the PSI and what I stated assertively. And, I think you would be proud of me, Miss Rasheen, because I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cuss and none of that crazy stuff I normally do.
And here's where Mr. Buckner takes over, and you can feel the entire mood of the courtroom shift. He's not just answering the judge's question. He's launching a full-throated defense of his character and a powerful indictment of the system he feels has wronged him. He's trying to reframe his past behavior, what the court sees as aggressive, as assertive communication. He believes he's being penalized for standing up for himself against police officers who have a long history with him. This isn't just about a threatening phone call anymore. For Mr. Buckner, this is about his entire life, his dignity, and his struggle against what he perceives as relentless persecution.
And it was two incidents that the probation reviewer person said to me, and I really don't want my words
A plot against me just to throw me in jail. This is the core of his entire argument. Mr. Buckner is claiming that the system isn't just flawed, it's actively working against him. He raises a powerful point. What benefit does 30 days in jail serve? He sees it as purely punitive, a way to punish him for his defiance rather than to rehabilitate him. He's challenging the very purpose of incarceration in his case, arguing that it does nothing to solve the underlying issues of disrespect and historical conflict with law enforcement. He's pleading with the judge to see him not as a criminal, but as a man pushed to his breaking point.
Construed, I don't want them taken out of context. He said, when he got first thing, he said, talk about the apology. And I told the probation officer, I said, if you was offended by a person, would it be more genuine for the person who offended you to apologize or for you to get a third party? Case in point, your sister stole some money from you and you feel she owes you an apology. You want to forgive her. You want to move forward in life, but she doesn't come forth. Your mother or another relative comes. Anybody that's a natural human will see that that is non-genuine at all. The officer never felt any person. That's another.
Within that report, thank you.
But if you would have never pointed it out, there would have never been an attempt of an apology or anything. I'm a regular human being. I try to live on regular life principles. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Like I told the probation officer, I never, not one time, did not take accountability for any of my actions. I was trying to be very clear, direct, and assertive as possible in giving my reason as to why we're here today. You know, even during the court proceedings, you reprimanded the officer, you know, but the bad part about it is the officer don't get no charge. I get a charge. And like I told him, life is not fair, but I will accept anything. Even though in my heart, I may not agree with it, I'm still going to accept and comply. That's what I told the probation officer. And by me saying that, that is not being defiant to the courts. It's not being defiant to anybody of authority. You know, I just simply say, hey, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to stay free, even though I don't agree with it. That's exactly what that means. So for my words to be taken out of context, yes, I'm very, I feel very disrespected. I feel like it's a plot against me just to throw me in jail. 30 days in jail ain't going to do nothing. It's what will it benefit to remove me from my family for a phone call? What warrants that? You know, I really would like for you, because the whole meeting was videotaped. I really would like for you to watch it, because if you watch it, you will see that I was assertive as well as respectful. I didn't disrespect nobody. I was very clear about everything that transpired during the situation. Do I feel messed up? Yes, because the officer that I made the statement towards is the same officer that's been arresting me since I was a teenager. So it is my belief. And notice I said it is my belief that the moment the phone call came in, that officer didn't care about the threatening of the officer. He's like, I finally got Lawrence Buckner, and I'm going to go push this all the way up. And like I said, that's my belief. You know, I just sat in jail for 30-some days for something that I didn't do. And like, it's the difference between actually committing a crime, getting caught red-handed, versus somebody, you know, constantly going to jail. And, you know, this was all one big thing, because you have been my judge, named there for every case. I have lost my dogs. I've lost my business. I have lost my entire livelihood because of a woman telling a white lie, to where now I got to get transcripts from the courts so I can file a lawsuit, because I got put in jail for being black, being at the wrong place at the wrong time. And these officers are the same officers who have been arresting me since I was 15 years old, and then want to get in front of you and act like they don't know who I am, when the officer admitted in court, yeah, I dealt with Mr. Buckner in the past. Because you dealt with me in the past, that's why as soon as I called, you was instantly, oh, he a liar. I don't care nothing you got to say. And then when I respond out of feelings, out of hurt, out of embarrassment, now I get a charge. Now I want to be put in jail for 30 days. So what does it really warrant? Like, I just lost my whole livelihood. They took all my dogs because of this. Everything.
Mr. Buckner, you're yelling again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm my bad. My bad. I apologize. Like, nobody's taking into account of that. Nobody's saying, hey, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Okay. I didn't just get on the phone threatening nobody. I tried to be respectful. I tried to follow the chain of authority to report abuse of authority to his colleague. And what do I get? I get mistreated. I get disrespected. I didn't deserve that. And all he gets to do is get a reprimand and go about his life. He don't care about no apology. He don't. He didn't care until you pointed it out. And that's just like if you raising children and you say, go apologize to such and such. If you have to tell that child to do that over and over and over again, that child will never learn to give a genuine apology or be accountable on his own. I was greatly disrespected, me and my family. For what? And jail, and then the prosecutor want to just send me to jail. She don't even know my life. She don't know what I've been through. Everything is just jail, jail, jail. Jail is not always the answer. Jail is not the answer. How is jail the answer?
This is a question that echoes through so many cases in the justice system. Mr. Buckner is passionately arguing that jail serves no purpose here. He believes he's already lost his business, his dogs, and his livelihood due to what he calls a white lie and malicious persecution. In his eyes, sending him to jail is just kicking a man when he's down. He views himself as an asset to the community, not a liability. So, here's a question for all of you. In a situation like this, where the defendant feels he's a victim of the system, is jail an appropriate response to a threat made in anger, or is it just pouring salt on the wound?
Can't nobody in this courtroom explain why jail is the answer. If I was so much of a threat and anti-government, I'd be blowing up buildings. You see me blowing up buildings? You see me going starting stuff? I'm not doing nothing. The same stuff I've been doing when I came home from prison in 2020. You know, and every time I tell the courts on record, on YouTube, every time I tell the courts that I have been maliciously persecuted by Washtenaw County sheriffs for not cooperating when I got shot, nobody believes me. Nobody cares. But all these magical cases come up on me. Places that shootouts happen and I wasn't even there. My GPS proves it, but I'm still in jail. Like, my mental is broke down. I have no more faith in the justice system. I am done. My life is in the last 6 months has went to crap. Okay, over a white lie. And in 2025, you would think that you could drive anywhere around the United States. But no, that ain't the case. That I was instantly stigmatized as a drug dealer, pulling up and then passing out guns. Man, my life is ruined. I worked so hard to build my dog community up. I took my dogs to the old folks home. So many people was affected by this. I took my dogs to schools. I took my dogs to help children. And now I'm so much of a threat to society to where I have to be remanded to Washtenaw County or suggested I be remanded for Washtenaw County. With nobody not even doing no type of investigation on my life. Like, I'm actually an asset to my community. I'm not a liability to my community. You put people in jail that's liability, that's not assets, that don't benefit, that don't bring nothing, that don't have no self-worth or not knowledge of their self-worth. People who have self-worth, people who making a constant effort, especially from the degrees of changes that I've made from my past, I'm doing remarkable. You know, and still and yet, like I still, for the life of me, cannot understand as to why I'm sitting in front of you. I swear I don't. You know, I try to sit about it every day. These are the same officers that pull me over every single day, every other week, harass me, and then get into court and act like Nobody harassed me. Why would I call the police? I called the police on the police. So that means something had to happen to me. Something is constantly happening to me, constantly pulling me over, constantly sitting in front of my house, just harassing me, constantly coming to my house every day. Come on, come to court. Tell us she shot. We need you to testify. No, no, no. And then as soon as I keep telling them no, I get all these magical cases. Like, why won't they just leave me alone? Nobody will listen to me. Nobody. I've been in jail for over almost 2 months for nothing. I can see if I actually did them crimes. So my whole religion, my spirituality is crushed. I don't know what to believe no more. I was a very religious person, a very spiritual person, but life done beat me down. It done beat me down. And everything I think about is what happened to my ancestors. It's relevant to me because I went to jail for being black. So yes, my mindset is different. My mindset is very different. I don't know. I don't trust Europeans because a European just tried to take away my life. A European came to court and lied on me when all these cameras proved I didn't do nothing. And I sat in jail. I was tortured. I was not allowed to practice my religion. None of this. I just missed my aunt's funeral. My aunt just died. She was the only person to ever write me in prison after my mama died. And I couldn't go to my aunt's funeral because of a tether, a GPS tether that Judge Simpson ordered to be taken off. When Judge Simpson ordered to be taken off the tether, they still left me on the tether. I couldn't even go to my aunt's funeral. I couldn't even do that, but nobody's talking about that. I had a court order to take it off, and I couldn't even go pay my respects. This woman, she didn't have much. She sent me money. She made sure I had a letter every week. Every week. She'll tell me I love you, even though it was just the words. But nobody's looking at that. Just send Mr. Buckner to jail. Send him to jail. Jail ain't the answer.
Thank you, Mr. Buckner. So back to what I asked initially, did Mr. Buckner ever take a course? Because it says in the report on page 2, the defendant was instructed to complete an anger management course before sentencing. The defendant completed this course, but it appeared to have no impact. I don't remember asking him about taking a class. Is all of that incorrect in the report?
Your Honor.
It's incorrect, man. It's incorrect.
Hold on, this is a bombshell. The judge just revealed a massive error in the official sentencing report. The report claims Mr. Buckner took an anger management class and that it had no impact. But not only did he not take the class, the judge herself never even ordered it. This is a catastrophic failure in the paperwork that was about to determine this man's freedom. This error gives huge credibility to Mr. Buckner's claims that the system is sloppy, biased, and not paying attention to the facts of his life. How can a judge trust a report that gets such a fundamental detail wrong? This changes everything.
All right, Mr. Buckner, Mr. Buckner, thank you.
Please, I need to say this. The officers have been harassing me, and I really want to just make this on note that this is also evidence of what they're doing to me. And I don't know if something gonna happen to me soon, but I want this on record. You know, I don't trust the police. I think they're trying to kill me. I think that one of the police officers involved in my shooting, nobody will listen to me. And I need some help. I need some help. I fear for my life. Every day I fear for my life. Nobody will help me. Nobody will help me. And I want this on video in case something happened to me.
Thank you, Mr. Buckner.
Your Honor, I don't believe.
Mr. Pappenhagen.
Your Honor, that's my apologies. I mistaken. That was a mental error on my end.
I'm striking all of that from the report. Anything from anyone else before I proceed with sentencing?
Nothing from the people, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
The defendant is to complete the ABR anger management course and pay fines and court costs in this case for a total of $275. I'm going to see him back here in 90 days on September 23rd, 2025 at 10 o'clock a.m. 180 days in the Washtenaw County Jail, credit for 11 days. The balance is suspended. So he doesn't have to do any additional jail time. If he pays his fines and costs, completes the class, and tells me what he learns from the class.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I want to say I heard every word that Mr. Buckner said. I truly believe that he is concerned for his safety. And bottom line, though, is two wrongs don't make a right, and that's why we're here. So I'll see him back here in September.
And that was the 23rd, Your Honor.
Correct, at 10.
Thank you.
In the end, the judge delivered a sentence that seemed to acknowledge the complexities of the case. Mr. Buckner was ordered to pay $275 in fines and complete an actual anger management course. Crucially, his 180-day jail sentence was suspended, meaning he avoided any additional time behind bars provided he meets the conditions. The judge acknowledged he heard his fears, stating, "Two wrongs don't make a right," but the erroneous report in Mr. Buckner's raw, emotional plea clearly had an impact, turning a recommended 30-day jail sentence into probation and a second chance. It's a stunning example of how one person's voice can, and sometimes does, change the outcome. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.